So, I mean, originally I came on today essentially to talk about like why I quit my job. If you don't know, my name's Dr. Alysia. I am the writer at a Black Women's Apothecary. This is my baby. I absolutely love this community. I absolutely love being here and writing for you all. Like, this is literally my dream. But I started as a family medicine doctor, just really, really struggling. I essentially was on this path of being a doctor, like, since I don't know, I think I decided at, like, 14. Like, I was so young, and I think there were, like, egoic reasons attached to it, but there were also some really, like, strong like, personal reasons attached to it. I have a sister who has special needs, so, like, it kind of always prompted me to be really involved in health and like, learning about health, and I also just was really drawn to, like, sciences, even though originally when I was really young, I was always, like, a short story writer, and, like, I loved to write and paint. So it just kind of changed when I was 14, and I essentially, like, didn't look back. I just went straight through college, went through biochemistry, like, was literally killing myself to get this biochemistry degree, me and my best friend, and it was honestly miserable, but I knew that, like, I needed to become a doctor. Like, I didn't really know why at that point, like, I was very, like, early in it, but I was like, "This really just calls to me," like, being able to, like, learn about the body, like, understanding the science behind it, like, being able to serve in this way. I've always been, like, a really service-oriented person. Uh, I think it just comes from being, like, so empathetic, like, just knowing how much we're all struggling and how hard life is. And yeah, and so all of that kind of like mixed up into like me following this career for 16 years of my life, literally dedicated to becoming a doctor. Um, and, I took that all the way through, like, college, took it through med school, had really different ideas about, like, what kind of doctor I would be in med school, um, and even went on to, like, get my public health degree once I finally realized that I was, like, just obsessed with, like, women and just wanted to, like, serve women, um, and around that time, like, I realized that I really did just love to write, and so I kind of started to, like, implement that a little bit more, but I really was afraid that if I chose this, like, different path, that I wouldn't be successful, like, I essentially, like, wouldn't make it, and I had people in my medical school, like, first off, when you become a doctor, like, you have blinders on, like, no one is telling you what this lifestyle looks like, no one is telling you, like, how to create your own lifestyle out of it, no one is really giving you any tangible help other than to say, "You have to follow this one path." And so, I got, like, really afraid my last year of medical school, and I just decided, like, "Okay, fine, I'm just gonna go to residency." Even though I knew that I was probably gonna come back to writing about, like, medicine and the body and the health and things like that, because that was really where I found joy. And so, I did 2 years of residency, and it was genuinely the worst experience of my life. So, at this point, as a doctor, you have your MD. At that point, I had an MD, MPH because I had gone to public health school. So, a lot of what I saw were like systemic issues every single day of just women who were just, like, chronically struggling and, like, women of color, just, all women, like, who just, like, didn't understand their bodies, didn't know the resources they had to understand their bodies, were coming to me or, like, some of my colleagues to, like, you know, essentially perform miracles, and, like, it just was so disheartening. Like, at the time, I was also, like, being trained in women's health specifically, so I was delivering a lot of babies. I had some, like, really insane hospital experiences delivering babies, um, and it just internally, like, my soul just felt really split. Like, I remember feeling like, first, just generally pretty miserable, like, because I'm just someone who, like, doesn't need to be in, like, synthetic lighting all day, like, that just is a recipe for me feeling unwell, and so working 14-hour shifts and then waking up in the morning, going to clinic, having 15 minutes with, like, 20 patients within 3 hours, like, it was it was honestly just unnatural, and, like, so many doctors just do it, and they just, like, put their heads down through it, and it's honestly just genuinely really hard for me to, like, exist that way. I really, really like, I need to feel aligned with my purpose, and I think there were so many experiences like that where I would wake up and I would be like, "I'm telling this woman to rest. I'm telling this woman to, like, balance their life around their cycle. I'm telling this woman to, you know, like, have patience with themselves and love themselves," and, I prided myself on being a doctor that could do that for women and that could speak that way to women, but I wasn't doing that for myself, and so many times throughout that experience, I developed these weird illnesses. So, eh, honestly, like, just to begin, I think that any sort of autoimmune condition, even down to some women's health conditions, are usually related to some sort of external stimuli, and, like, that is really important to say because there's something called the psychoneuroimmunologic axis, and that axis is how your, like, mental state, your mental experiences, your, emotional state, your limiting beliefs, all of those things relate to your nervous system, which essentially changes how your immune system responds to things within your body. And so, for me, one of the first things that I got